Charlie Kirk, the 31-year-old conservative activist and founder of Turning Point USA, was fatally shot on September 10 during a public event at Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. The shooting occurred while Kirk was hosting a Prove Me Wrong table as part of his American Comeback tour. Eyewitnesses reported hearing a gunshot, after which Kirk collapsed. He was later pronounced dead at a local hospital. The incident has been officially classified as a political assassination by Utah Governor Spencer Cox, who described it as a dark day for both the state and the nation. Kirk was a prominent figure in conservative youth politics, known for his close alliance with former President Donald Trump and his efforts to mobilize young conservatives through Turning Point USA. He also hosted a popular podcast and frequently appeared on conservative media outlets. Kirk is survived by his wife, Erica Francevy, a former NCAA athlete and Miss Arizona USA, and their 2 young children. The shooting has prompted widespread bipartisan condemnation of political violence. Leaders across the political spectrum, including President Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, and House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries, have expressed their sorrow and called for unity and an end to political violence. Charles James Kirk was born on October 14, 1993, in Arlington Heights, Illinois. Raised in the Chicago suburbs, he developed an interest in politics at a young age, inspired by conservative figures like Ronald Reagan. He briefly attended Harper College, but dropped out to pursue political activism full-time in 2012. At the age of 18, Kirk founded Turning Point USA, a conservative student organization aimed at promoting free markets and limited government on college campuses. The organization quickly gained traction, receiving support from conservative donors and expanding its reach nationwide. Kirk became a prominent figure in conservative circles, known for his outspoken views and media presence. He hosted The Charlie Kirk Show, a conservative talk radio program, and frequently appeared on conservative media outlets. He was also a close ally of former President Donald Trump, supporting his campaigns and promoting Trump-aligned causes. Throughout his career, Kirk faced criticism for various controversial statements and positions. He opposed gun control, criticized the Civil Rights Act of 1964, and promoted conspiracy theories such as the Great Replacement. These stances sparked debates and drew both support and condemnation from different political factions. On September 10, Charlie Kirk was fatally shot during a public event at Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. He was speaking as part of his American Comeback tour when a gunman fired a single shot from a building approximately 200 yards away, striking him in the neck. Despite immediate medical attention, Kirk succumbed to his injuries. Authorities launched an investigation into the shooting, describing it as a targeted attack. Initially, there was confusion regarding the apprehension of a suspect, but later reports confirmed that no one was in custody. The FBI, along with local law enforcement, continued to search for the perpetrator. The shooting prompted widespread condemnation across the political spectrum. Former President Donald Trump expressed his sorrow, calling Kirk legendary and praising his influence on young conservative voters. Other political figures, including Vice President J.D. Vance and House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries, also offered condolences and called for an end to political violence. Authorities said they still had no suspect in custody as of Wednesday night, some 8 hours after the midday shooting at Utah Valley University campus in Orem, Utah. During an event attended by 3,000 people, the lone perpetrator suspected of firing the single gunshot that killed Kirk, 31, apparently from a distant rooftop sniper's nest on campus, remained at large, said Bo Mason, commissioner of the Utah Department of Public Safety. At a news conference 4 hours later, state police issued a statement on Wednesday night saying that 2 men had been detained, and 1 was interrogated by law enforcement. But both were subsequently released. There are no current ties to the shooting with either of these individuals, the statement said. There is an ongoing investigation and manhunt for the shooter, in a video message taped in the Oval Office and posted to Trump's Truth Social online platform. The president vowed that his administration would track down the suspect. My administration will find each and every one of those who contributed to this atrocity and to other political violence, including the organizations that fund it and support it, Trump said. Cell phone video clips of the killing posted online showed Kirk addressing a large outdoor crowd on the campus, about 40 miles (64 kilometers) south of Salt Lake City, around 12:20 p.m. Mount 1820 GMT when a gunshot rang out. Kirk moved his hand toward his neck as he fell off his chair, sending onlookers running in another clip. Blood could be seen gushing from Kirk's neck immediately after the shot. Jeff Long, chief of the University Police Department, said he had 6 officers working the event and coordinated with the head of Kirk's private security team, which was also on site. Trump ordered all government U.S. flags flown at half-staff until Sunday in Kirk's honor. The killing was the latest in a series of attacks on U.S. political figures, including 2 assassination attempts on Trump last year, that have underscored a sharp rise in political violence. This is a dark day for our state. It's a tragic day for our nation, Utah's Republican Governor Spencer Cox said at the press conference. I want to be very clear that this is a political assassination, with the suspects still at large. There was no clear evidence of motive for the act of violence. Trump, who routinely describes political rivals, judges and others who stand in his way as radical left lunatics and warns that they pose an existential threat to the nation, decried violent political rhetoric. For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals, Trump said in the video. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today, and it must stop right now. The American Comeback Tour was a nationwide speaking series launched by Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA, TPUSA. In the fall of 2025, the tour aimed to engage college students across the United States in discussions about conservative values, free speech, and American identity. Kirk's approach often involved his signature Prove Me Wrong tables, where he invited students to challenge his views on various political and cultural topics. The tour commenced on September 10, 2025. At Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah, Kirk was addressing a crowd of approximately 3,000 attendees when he was fatally shot in the neck by a sniper, positioned about 200 yards away on the roof of the LaSalle Student Success Center. The shooting occurred during a Q&A session. Shortly after, Kirk was asked about mass shootings involving transgender individuals. Witnesses reported that Kirk collapsed immediately after being struck, and the crowd dispersed in panic. AP News +1. The American Comeback Tour was intended to be a 15-city campaign spanning 9 states, with additional dates to be announced. The event at Utah Valley University was the inaugural stop, and the shooting marked a tragic and violent end to what was meant to be a platform for political discourse and engagement among young conservatives. Reuters. In the wake of the shooting, the tour was suspended indefinitely, and authorities launched an investigation into the incident. The assassination of Charlie Kirk highlighted the increasing polarization and instances of political violence in the United States, drawing widespread condemnation from leaders across the political spectrum. Wired. The American Comeback Tour was not just a series of events. It was a reflection of Charlie Kirk's commitment to influencing the next generation of conservative leaders and fostering a dialogue on American values. Its abrupt and tragic end underscored the challenges and risks associated with political activism in a deeply divided society. Republican and Democratic politicians alike expressed dismay over the shooting. Democratic House Minority Leader Hakeem L. Jeffries said in a statement, "Political violence of any kind and against any individual is unacceptable and completely incompatible with American values. We pray for his family during this tragedy. The U.S. is undergoing its most sustained period of political violence since the 1970s. Reuters has documented more than 300 cases of politically motivated violent acts since supporters of Trump attacked the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021, in July 2024. Republican Trump was grazed by a gunman's bullet during a campaign event in Butler, Pennsylvania. A second assassination attempt 2 months later was foiled by federal agents, with opening arguments in that suspect's trial set to begin on Thursday, in April. An arsonist broke into Democratic Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro's residence and set it on fire while the family was inside. Earlier this year, a gunman posing as a police officer in Minnesota murdered Democratic state lawmaker Melissa Hortman and her husband and shot Democratic Senator John Hoffman and his wife. And in Boulder, Colorado, a man used a makeshift flamethrower and Molotov cocktails to attack a solidarity event for Israeli hostages, killing 1 woman and injuring at least 6 more. In 2022, a man broke into Democratic then House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's home and bludgeoned her husband with a hammer, leaving him with skull fractures and other injuries. In 2020, a group of right-wing militia members plotted unsuccessfully to kidnap Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, a Democrat,